So good morning everyone, welcome to Raj Malhotra IAS. So guys, we are about to start the session now और जल्दी से सेशन आपका जो है वो शुरू हो जाएगा. So here we are connected and live and I am hoping for the best that we will have uninterrupted session. Okay. So this is what I'm hoping. So let other people also join us. So I have already uploaded the PDF in our Telegram group. You can download that PDF from there. Okay. You can download that PDF from there. So today the session might be small because I have to travel. Okay. Today the session might be small because I have to travel. So due to some obligation, but still I'll try my level best to do justice in the sense we are going to cover the Hindu will be covered. Okay, don't worry about it, वो तो cover हो जाएगा, ठीक है ना. So उसके अलावा today we are not including the ethics part. Okay, ethics part we might not be able to include. So good morning everyone. I'll take the roll call. Abhinav, Pooja, Priya, Brilliant, Diksha, Priyanka, UPSC, Gunjan, Rakesh, Nikhil, Diksha, Yasir, Pamal, Roshni, Lakshita, Dilpreet, Yashwini, Priya, Yashwini, Mohit, Malik Nasreen, Kritika, Tulasi Raga, Ritik, Diksha, B5092, Jatin. Good morning all. Manisha, good morning. Okay. Nikhil, good morning. चलिए स्टार्ट करते हैं. लेट्स सी व्हाट एग्जैक्टली इज देयर फॉर अस इन टुडेज न्यूज़पेपर. ओके, सो CBSE CISE scrapped the class 12th exam after review by Prime Minister. Now this has been scrapped. Okay, now you tell me one thing, how are you going to carry on your college admission activity? So college admissions will start. Okay, how, on what particular base you are going to decide that this particular student is a meritorious student? Okay, how are you going to decide that? That's the major challenge now. Okay, that's the major challenge. Though CBSE has said that if you are not satisfied, okay, CBSE has said that if you are not satisfied with the judgment or with the result which they will declare, they can reappear. They can reappear. Okay, वो लोग reappear हो सकते हैं. This is the option that they are giving. This is the option that they are giving, that students can reappear. But you need to tell me one thing, is it going to do justice? Okay, is it going to do justice? On what basis you are going to decide, okay, that this student will get admission in prestigious college and this student will not get admission? On what base you are going to decide now? That's the major challenge. So you have to change your whole policy. So declaring result is just one part of it. You have to look into this issue beyond that result aspect. What are you going to do with colleges? How are you going to facilitate that? Okay, are we going to have some sort of entrance examination for the colleges? Okay, what option do we have? What option do we have? This is the point you need to understand. This is the point you need to understand. I guess there is some problem here. There is some problem here. Okay, so class has ended. So you need to understand this point. The class has started. Okay. So this is the major trouble. This is the major trouble that we are experiencing here. Okay. Now you need to understand, definitely government will look out and they will come out with some solution. Okay, at least policy level पे कुछ ना कुछ तो करना ही पड़ेगा, ठीक है ना. So this is required now. This is very much required. Okay. So this is the whole news. ये आपकी जो है PM ने खुद review किया है that what will be the action to deal with this particular crisis. Okay. Now we'll move ahead now and we'll look into the another news, that is TMC BJP spar over notice to former chief secretary. Now this is there. Okay, This is there. So you need to understand this crisis is going on and who is paying the price. So bureaucracy is somehow being used or misused. Okay. So you are targeting a bureaucrat. Political fight. Okay. Political fight is going on and somehow a bureaucrat is being targeted. Now you need to understand this point. If you know our politicians, they are acting in a irresponsible manner, it will lower down the morale of the bureaucrats. Okay, morale of the bureaucrats will go down. And further, you need to understand governance will be the biggest casualty. Okay, governance will be the biggest casualty. This is the major problem here. Okay, this is the major problem here. So this is the biggest casualty. ये सबसे बड़ी casualty है जो होती है. So you need to understand this particular point. Okay, you need to understand this particular point. So ये आपको सोचना पड़ेगा, ठीक है ना? So I guess there is some issue here. Okay. So we'll look into this in detail. Now this is what has happened. Okay, so show cause notice has been issued to former West Bengal Chief Secretary. The reason that they have said, he was absent from the PM's meeting. Okay, so Prime Minister is the chairman of National Disaster Management Authority and he was heading that meeting. He was heading that meeting and he was the chairman of this particular, okay, National Disaster Management Authority, and he was reviewing how the relief work is going on with cyclone Yas. Now central government, okay, they are saying that the chief secretary was not present and that's why this is the violation of section 51B of Disaster Management Act. So definitely if this was the violation, he should be answerable. Okay, he should be answerable for that. He should be definitely answerable. So from that perspective, if we see, it is fine. But if it is about the political vendetta, if it is about the political vendetta and that he is supporting the state government, then it is completely wrong. Okay, from that angle it is completely wrong. This point you need to understand. From that angle this particular thing is completely wrong. Okay, that's the problem. Now who is paying the price? I have already told you, governance will be impacted. Governance will be majorly impacted by this. Okay, so they will not be able to provide governance. Governance वो दे नहीं पाएंगे. It will be the biggest casualty, you can say so. ओके, सो ये समस्या है यहाँ पे. सो ये गड़बड़ हो रही है. नाउ IMD ओके इंक्रीजेस द मॉनसून रेन आउटलुक 201%. Okay, before that, give details on scheme for orphan children, says the Supreme Court. See, there are many cases, near about 9,500 or more than that cases are there, children are there who have lost both their parents. Father and mother both have passed away due to COVID. Okay, COVID की वजह से दोनों ही parents की death हो गई है. In that scenario, they are facing this major trouble now. उनको जो है major trouble यहाँ पे face करना पड़ रहा है. Okay, so for that, government has proposed a scheme. Okay, government did came out with a scheme that they will assist those children, they will support those children with their education. Okay, and a corpus of 10 lakh has been set up for that. A setup of this corpus has been set up for that. Okay, and definitely they want to support children in their education. Okay, and modalities of PM care. Okay, they will be using funds from that. This is what center is explaining. No, this explanation was given because Supreme Court has asked, what are you doing for children who have lost their parents? Okay, ऐसा बोला गया है. अब you need to understand, now this particular scheme is going to help children who are impacted by COVID-19. Okay, so government will be funding their educational requirements. what are their uniform, textbook and other things. Okay, now scheme would also offer financial help for higher education. This is really a good component. Okay, and each child had a corpus of 10 lakh which he she would get on reaching the age of 23. So it means that when he is about to start a different role in his life, he might be having some money with him. Okay, suppose he wants to go for, you know, higher education, some money will be there for him. Okay, other than that, if he wants to start some business, then also the support is available from the government side. This arrangement has been made. Okay, this arrangement has been made. It's a good thing that government is doing it. Okay, but you need to understand this is also an ad hoc arrangement. This is also an ad hoc arrangement that you are facilitating this particular scheme only for the COVID impacted children. Okay, only for the COVID impacted children. Now can you tell me one thing, can we have a policy, can we have a policy, okay, which can be applied to other scenarios also? Now if a children he is losing both the parents, why can't he get the benefit of this scheme? Don't you think this goes against the right to equality? Don't you think this goes against the right to equality? Okay, so you need to understand this thing. Now definitely government should have some policy, there should be some broad based policy, and you should address other cases also. Okay, बाकी cases को भी आपको address करना पड़ेगा. So amicus curiae is the court appointed lawyer, court appointed legal expert. Okay, amicus curiae is the court appointed legal expert who will give his advice on this particular matter. So this is the news. Now IMD increases the monsoon rain outlook to 101%. Okay. Now you need to understand this particular point. Why this particular news is important? Because our economy, Indian economy, if you see, okay, you need to understand, you can draw this flow chart also, is somehow dependent on monsoon. Now if your monsoon season, okay, is as it is expected, if it is fine, definitely it will help the rural economy, especially your agriculture. Okay, it will help the rural economy, your rural economy will get a boost. Okay, there will be no problem. Why this situation is there? Because you need to understand more than, okay, 50% of your agriculture area, okay, more than 50% of your agriculture area of India is still dependent on rains. Okay, still dependent on rains means you don't have the irrigation facility. You don't have the irrigation facility, that's why they are still dependent on the rains. वो rains पे ही dependent है, ठीक है ना? So you need to understand, monsoon is going to come, agriculture economy, farmers will get good amount. Okay, you will have good crop, you will have good crop, definitely they will get good money. So rural economy will get a boost. Now these rural farmers, they are customers also. Okay, these rural farmers, they are customers also. What they will buy, they will go to urban areas. Okay, they will buy some goods, they will buy some products, TV, fridge, okay, scooter, motorcycle. This is what they are going to buy. So they will help in sustaining the urban economy also. Okay, they will buy different products. Now this is how it will have an impact over your complete economy as a whole. Okay, this will boost demand in your economy. This will boost demand in your economy. Okay, so when there will be demand in economy, when there will be demand in economy, definitely the production will go up. Companies, okay, they will increase their production, they will hire more people. Okay, more employment opportunities will be generated, they will hire more people. Okay, more employment opportunities will be generated. So this is how, this is whole cyclical thing. Your monsoon is really important for the Indian economy. Okay, so you can draw this particular diagram also. You can draw this particular diagram also, that how monsoon is going to increase the agrarian income. These agrarian farmers, they are the customers also. They will support the urban economy and especially the Indian economy, because it will boost the demand in your economy. So when the demand will increase, the producers, they will be hiring more people to increase their production. So we can have this arrangement. Okay, we can have this arrangement, and that's why it is important. So it's been history that monsoon is important. Have you seen Lagan movie? Have you seen Lagan movie? Okay, so since that time and maybe before than that, we are dependent on monsoon. Okay, so Delhi High Court questions center on not prioritizing youth for vaccination. Yes, absolutely, the question should be raised. See, if it is about mass vaccination, okay, of or it is about having herd immunity, then definitely you need to bring in youth. So presently, what's the arrangement for vaccine? Okay, what's the arrangement for vaccine? You need to understand, whatever vaccine which is being produced, okay, vaccine produced in your country, 50% will be taken up by center, and center is making arrangement for 45 plus category of age. Okay, that people who are of 45 and above, they will get vaccination, and that vaccination will be managed, or you can say procured, by the central government. This is the arrangement we have. Then 25% of the vaccine states will be getting. Okay, whatever we are producing in our country, out of that 25% states will be getting, and states will look after the category of 18 to 44. Okay, 18 to 45 or 44, whatever, that this is the category, and state government will take care of them, and rest 25% is with the private sector. Okay, so this is the arrangement that we are having. Now this shows that, okay, when we say India is a young country, so it means that you are not making arrangement for the biggest section of your population. So 18 to 44, this is the biggest section of your population, and you are not making arrangement for them. So if you are not making arrangement for them, so can we have herd immunity? Certainly not. So that's why Delhi High Court is questioning the center's decision, how they are managing this thing. Okay, and definitely you must have seen overall researched, okay, overall researched policy is missing. All this is happening because you don't have a proper researched policy. You don't have a proper researched policy. This is the reason. Okay, now Odisha, Jharkhand want center to procure the vaccine. Now this is important. Okay, you need to understand one important point here. So here states, they want union to play some role. Definitely it's about economies of scale. Okay, it's about economies of scale. Now what is this economies of scale? It means that if you are going to place large order, big order, definitely the price will go down. Okay, price will go down. This is the benefit which states want to explore. Now other point is that, okay, this is the different angle to it. Now India wants US MNCs, okay, or US vaccine producers to come and provide vaccines to India. Now US MNCs, they also want this centralized procurement. They also want big orders. They want to deal with only one party. Now here, if different states are demanding, they will have to meet representatives from each and every state. So it's in their interest also if there is centralized procurements. They are also looking for centralized procurement. Okay, so but center has to take decision. So right now they have this arrangement. Okay, states 25% share is going to state, and states can place their own individual order depending upon their capacity. And in that scenario, these are poor state. Okay, Jharkhand, Bihar, Odisha, UP, they can't afford. It's obvious they don't have the revenue. They can't afford. Okay, they can't compete with other rich states. So definitely you cannot have a competition at this level. So there should be centralized procurement, and it has been suggested by many experts. Okay, so we'll move ahead now. So let's see what exactly is there for us. Okay, there is nothing much here, and we'll directly move to the editorial section now. Okay, so in your editorial section, so today's editorial has been written by Suhasini Heather ma'am. Okay, so what she has written, that how your foreign office is playing important role. Okay, how your diplomats are working now. These are the new type of challenge. Okay, these are the new type of challenge, and how they have to twist their approach, okay, with the change of policy. Now you need to understand, if you see the first wave, okay, India performed better relatively. India performed better. Okay, so our focus was on export. Okay, our focus was on export of vaccine, medicine, and other help. Now at that time we were helping other countries. Okay, now after the second, now at that time your foreign office was working on this export thing, talking to different countries. Okay, during your second wave, how situation changed? Now you were importing vaccines. Okay, there was shortage of oxygen, there was shortage of all other equipments, and today there is also a shortage of antifungal medicine. Okay, because black fungus is causing damage to us, so antifungal vaccine is also now we are exploring. Okay, so this is how this was a complete U-turn for your diplomats. Your diplomats who were working with other countries. Okay, earlier they were managing your exports, now they are managing your imports. Okay, because you have to mobilize your resources and you have to talk to all other countries. So this is how it was a different thing for them. This is how it was a different thing for them, and this is somehow, okay, is a new challenge. New challenge in the sense, you need to understand, our diplomats, they have to face, okay, they have to save India's face. They have to save India's face. Why they have to save India's face? They are in a tough situation. Okay, so you need to understand, we made some commitments. We did make some commitments. Okay, and we are not completing them. We are not completing them. Now think about a situation. This editorial mentions about Bhutan. Okay, now you exported first dose of vaccine to Bhutan. First dose of Covishield was exported to Bhutan. Okay, now when the time for second dose came, there was a shortage. India was not able to provide second dose. Okay, to Bhutan. Okay, first dose was given, and Bhutan carried out the vaccination drive in 15-16 days, and they vaccinated lakhs of people there. But when it comes to second dose, you were not able to provide that. Now in that situation, will these countries, okay, will these countries ever trust your capacity? Will these countries ever trust India's capacity to deliver? Okay, India's capacity to deliver. Will they ever trust India's capacity to deliver? This is the problem here. Okay, this is the problem here, and this is what our foreign office has to do. They have to save India's face. Okay, now another thing is that they will have competition from China. Suppose India is not able to provide vaccine, definitely Chinese have already mobilized their activity and they are providing vaccine. Okay, so this is what we have to manage now. So it's a difficult task. Okay, it's a difficult task. Another point is that now we want investigation. Okay, what is the source of this virus? This was also in news. We want investigation. India wants investigation, that from where did this virus came. So you have to make consensus with other countries to fight against bioweapons. Okay, if this is a bioweapon, if this is a lab made virus, then for that purpose also India is mobilizing its resources. Again, your foreign office will be in action. So this is what this editorial is talking about. So we will look into this. Okay, now I'll try to explain it to you and explain it in a faster way. Okay, because I have already provided you what exactly is there in it. So Indian diplomacy will have to handle the fallout of vaccine collapse definitely, and bio research regulations. Okay, because we wanted to have a regulated research. India wanted to have a regulated research in this world. Okay, and it's in our interest also. You have to regulate it so that you cannot create bioweapons in future. No such problem should occur. Okay, so our focus has shifted multiple times, focus of our Ministry of External Affairs. Okay, so during the first wave our focus was on export of COVID-19 vaccine. We carried out Vande Bharat mission. You were bringing back Indians from abroad. We announced vaccine Maitri, and this is how situation changed. After your second wave you were importing vaccine. Okay, earlier you were helping others, now you were crying for help. You need to understand this was a completely U-turn thing. Okay, you were in a need of help and other countries were to be asked to help us. Okay, so the crisis was really huge, otherwise lakhs of people could have died. Okay, so your foreign office did manage it. It somehow addressed all the requirements, whether it is oxygen, whether it is remdesivir, okay, whether it is the antifungal drug. This is what they were doing. Okay, it was a major health crisis. Oxygen, medicine shortage was there. So you need to understand, in Delhi alone more than 3,000 people died in last week of April, and the people who have died, it also include people from the diplomatic community. Many experts have also died. Okay, so suppose, take example, you have limited number of experts on China. See, your retired diplomats, okay, your retired diplomats are experts. You need to understand, your retired diplomats are your subject expert. Now if you have limited number of experts on China and you are losing few of them, and it's a loss for the country, it's a very loss for the country, for your foreign policy. Okay, so officials, retired diplomats, foreign diplomats, those were also part of the people who have died. Okay, so Ministry of External Affairs, it had to deal with internal health concern also. So people who are serving, they were also they were also fearful of the impact of COVID on them. Okay, then you have to mobilize your resources for remdesivir, favipiravir to US, Russia and other areas. Okay, so Indian mission, Indian consulates, Indian diplomats were directly involved in this whole exercise. पूरी एक्सरसाइज में आपके डिप्लोमेट्स थे वहां पे. ओके, then handling the vaccine shortage. Now this is the problem here. The shortage of vaccine has arisen from the three major factors. Okay, first factor was that failure of the government to plan and procure orders in time, that we didn't place any order. Okay, you lost the opportunity. When COVID was down, we didn't place any order. Okay, failure of the two Indian based companies to produce vaccine, okay, that they had committed. Now if they didn't have the capacity, they should have asked for it. Okay, उनको पूछना चाहिए था. If they didn't have the capacity, they should have explained it to the government that we don't have the capacity. Okay, so this was also a problem here. Now Ministry of External Affairs focus on exporting, not importing. Earlier, between January and April, you were not importing vaccine. Okay, you were exporting it. You were exporting it without realizing your domestic requirement. Okay, so you didn't assess the impact of second wave, and you didn't assess the requirement of the vaccine for your second wave, and you were focusing majorly on exports. Okay, this was a major policy level flaw. This was a major policy level flaw. Then now in the present time, it is somehow clear that we are looking up to United States to address the shortfall of the vaccine. You are looking up to US. Now US has its own restrictions. Vaccine is not going to come in an easy way. Okay, you need to understand. Still the effort has to be made by our diplomats. Okay, so you need to understand, US has imposed some restriction. Okay, US is not exporting the vaccine. Presently, they have allowed only 2 million doses. Okay, they have allowed only 20 million doses of vaccine. 20 million doses of vaccine ingredients and component. You need to understand this point. And this 20 million has to be distributed among whole world. Whole world will be getting this 20 million doses of vaccine ingredient. Okay. This is not for India. So you need to understand this particular point. Okay. So that's why your foreign office have to be mobilized to contact US official to release more vaccine. You need more vaccine ingredients to be released. Okay. And then you have to approach to different United States firms, different manufacturers, Pfizer, Moderna, Johnson. You have to talk to them that these companies can come and produce in India. Okay. This is what we have to do. Again, you have to mobilize your foreign office. So it's a difficult task. Long effort have to be made. Okay. So you have to persuade United States to release more vaccine ingredients for India. Okay. So thing is that presently it is not clear how many vaccine will be given to India. What will be the arrangement that will be made to India? Things are not clear. Okay. So your foreign office will be doing some task here. Now you need to understand at domestic level, at India's level, we have definitely relaxed some of the rules for American and other foreign manufacturers. Okay. That now in India, prior trials are not allowed, not required. Okay. Prior trial on Indian people are not required now. If your vaccine is approved by European agency or US agency, you can directly get that vaccine to India and start, your marketing thing. Okay. Start selling your vaccine in India. This is the arrangement that we have. Okay. So other point is that as I told you in the start of the session, in India different states are interacting with these firms. They are placing their own orders. Okay, different states placing their own orders. Okay, na? As I told you, US manufacturers, they want centralized order. They want only one single order, the bigger one. They don't want to get into negotiation with different states. Okay. One day Haryana Health Ministry is approaching them. One day Punjab Health Ministry is approaching them. One day Rajasthan is approaching them. Can't we have a single centralized union procurement? This is what they're demanding. Okay. So your diplomats are working to look into the contracts, how the contracts are to be managed. Okay. So this is what we are doing now. This is what your foreign office is doing now. Then you need to understand another important part is related to the patents. Okay. So India and South Africa, we have approached WTO that patent should be diluted. Okay. That waiver should be given. We want patent waiver to be given so that we can produce the duplicate, or you can say generic version of the vaccine. This is what we demand. Now again you have to mobilize your diplomats to different countries to get their support. Okay, to get their support. Now presently US, Russia, China, they are supporting us. They said okay fine, patent waiver should be given, but other European countries, they are not ready with that. Okay, European countries are still not ready with that. They are not ready to release their patent. So this is the problem here. And now again you have to mobilize your diplomats. Your diplomats will be negotiating with them. Try to bring them on your side. Okay, that the patent waiver should be explored. So this is the whole scenario, this is the whole path that they have to travel. Now another biggest challenge for Indian diplomacy is to fall out of the vaccine collapse. As I told you completely, there are countries which were dependent on us. They were dependent on us. Okay, and because of our inability to provide the vaccine on time, they will pay the price for that. So it includes both India's neighbors as well as the poor countries in Africa. How are they going to manage their second dose, and how are they going to manage even their first dose, as these countries were somehow dependent on India? So I gave you the case study of Bhutan that it carried out the vaccine drive. First dose was done. Okay, that within 16 days they provided the first dose. Okay, and 93% of the population was vaccinated within 16 days. So, but they didn't have the supply for the second dose. They didn't have the supply for the second dose. Now, what are they going to do in that scenario? What Bhutan will do now? Okay, what Bhutan will do now? Now, other thing is that we wanted that investigation should be done. Okay, we wanted that investigation should be done at the level of WHO or some other international agency or entity to make sure that bioweapons are not generated, not produced. Okay, bioweapons are not produced. Now again you have to mobilize different countries. You want their support. You will be using your diplomats. Okay, so this is what the main challenge is for you. And another important part you need to understand, presently India is a non-permanent member in United Nations Security Council. For 2 years India is going to remain non-permanent member. Okay, so that's the critical and important position that India is holding now. So whatever damage that has happened to our vaccine diplomacy, okay, whatever damage that has happened to our vaccine diplomacy, the image that has gone down, okay, the question marks that has been raised on India's capacity, the question marks that has been raised on India's capacity, the image that has gone down, we can rework on them and we can improve our image, okay, by using India's position in WHO's executive board as well as non-permanent member of United Nations Security Council. So we can definitely work on it. So whatever mistakes that we have committed, we can definitely improve on those particular mistakes. So we have to utilize these two positions that we are holding now. Okay, so this is what this editorial was about. So now we'll move ahead. Now breaking the cycle of child labor is in India's hand. You need to understand. So when you talk about child labor, what is the reason for child labor? Okay, what is the reason why the child labor exists in this country? What is the reason? Okay, so the reason majorly is the poverty. You need to understand, because people don't have income, so they look for extra hand. Okay, extra income from extra hand. You need to understand this thing. That's why they send their children to work. Okay, now presently corona crisis is going on. Okay, now as projected migrant crisis was there. There are things like unemployment. Okay, unemployment, you don't get job. Now suppose, think a scenario, if a breadwinner, okay, earlier a father was a breadwinner, he used to get money, he was on job. Now if the breadwinner is out of job, then definitely there are chances that children of that family might have to work. Okay, children of that family might have to work. जितना भी छोटा मोटा काम मिले, okay, children of that family might have to work. This is the point here. That's why there are chances that due to this corona crisis in India, the child labor might increase. Child labor might increase. Okay, so that's why your administration has to make sure that such things don't happen. You need to understand there are near about 9,500 children, okay, who are orphan because both parents died because of COVID. There are chances that these particular people, these particular children, they are vulnerable. Okay, vulnerable to what? Human trafficking, child labor. So your administration has to protect them. So that's why breaking the cycle of child labor is in India's hand. This is what this editorial is talking about. So let's look into the editorial. You need to understand they have raised one more important point, that child labor, okay, this is not a new phenomena. This is not a new phenomena, and factors which are responsible for child labors were existing before COVID also. Okay, were existing before COVID also. COVID आने से पहले भी ये factors exist करते थे. You need to understand this point. What happens is that due to Corona, okay, due to COVID, these factors have aggravated. These factors have aggravated. वो बस थोड़े से increase हो गए हैं. Otherwise the factors were already there. Problems were already there in your country. वो already यहाँ पे चल रहा था. तो time पे, because we didn't address those particular factors in the past, okay, our administration, we didn't address those particular factors. That's why, okay, that's why even in the present time, we are facing this particular crisis. Now think about the situation if we would have addressed those factors: poverty, okay, unemployment, availability of education, schools, other things, then this would not have happened. Okay, so this is what this editorial is pointing out. So statistics is really important. You need to understand, you get good statistics, okay, for your answer. So you will be writing some stats here. Now across the world, 152 million children around the world are still in child labor. 73 million of them are working in hazardous work. Okay, so according to the census of 2011, it reports that 10 million working children are there in 5 to 14 age group, and out of home, okay, 8.1 million are in rural areas and agriculture laborers. Okay, they are working as cultivators and agriculture laborers. Now you tell me one important point, tell me one thing. This is just the government data, and they have covered only those cases which has been reported. What about those which cases are unreported? Okay, what about those cases which are not reported? And in India, majority cases might not be reported to the administration. Okay, another important point that I would like to make, and that point need to be considered, that according to the UNESCO estimate, okay, near about 38 million children are out of school. What does it mean? Means these students, they have not completed their education. They have not completed their education. Okay, elementary education. This is the problem here. Then there is another data that as per the rapid survey on children, okay, less than half of children in age group 10 to 14 have completed the primary education. Means children are not completing the education. See, you need to understand, we are very proud of one thing, that our gross enrollment, okay, that India's gross enrollment has reached 95%, or sometimes it is said that it is 97%. Okay, that children are enrolling in schools. Now you tell me one thing, if they are enrolling and if they are not completing their education, what's the point of that enrollment? Okay, what's the point of having that enrollment? Now one point they are highlighting, that it's a good news, that child labor in India has decreased. Okay, between 2021 to 2011, okay, 2001 to 2011, the cases have decreased. Now you need to understand here, I would like to tell one thing. While writing an answer, in your answer, UPSC answer, okay, you will be mentioning about heading, and you will be writing that policy intervention. Okay, policy intervention. Okay, this will be your heading. Then you will be mentioning about what all we have done. What all we have done. Okay, you will be writing about this. because your answer should also mention what steps government has taken. Okay, it should also be visible there. Now here it is written what is the policy intervention. So Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Scheme, right to education, midday meal scheme. Okay, so how MG Narega has helped. Now if the income of family is increasing, okay, if income of family is increasing, at least children can concentrate on their education. If mothers they are getting employment under MG Narega, then definitely children can concentrate on their education. Okay, so you have right to education, that is availability of schools. Availability of schools have increased, number of schools have increased. This is one remarkable thing that government has done. Now midday meal scheme. Okay, now child will get 2 times meal, 2 टाइम का खाना मिल जाता है. So it's a good thing, children are attracted towards schools. Okay, so these steps we have taken. Now it has somehow helped in reducing the child labor. And other point is that government is also moving towards national child labor project. Okay, that you have to reduce the child labor, you have to shift them to education. This is what government is planning. And another important point that I would like to make here. Now see this 2018 question. It mentions about International Labour Organization Convention 138, 182 are related to. It was related to child labor. Okay, India is a signatory of, another point that I was trying to make, ratifying International Labour Organization Convention number 138 and 182 in 2017. The government further demonstrated its commitment to the elimination of child labor, including those engaged in hazardous occupation. Okay, so we are a signatory of this particular convention, so that's why we are obliged to reduce the child labor. Okay, so this was asked in your prelims question. Another important thing, your Ministry of Labor and Employment has provided you one particular online portal, that is pencil.gov.in. On this particular thing, government officials, law enforcement agencies, they can share their information and they can coordinate, okay, on matters related to child labor. Now this is a good thing. Okay, this is a good thing that has been provided. Okay, again as I told you in the start of this session, is this particular topic, that economic contraction, lockdown is going to have an impact. So incomes are going down, incomes have reduced. Okay, definitely there are high chances that children might be shifted to labor to earn money. Why it is so? Because there is economic insecurity, there is lack of social protection. Okay, household income is already down, you don't have any social protection measure. If father is not earning, then who is going to help, who is going to manage food? So this is the problem here, that children from the poor household, they are being pushed to contribute to family income. Now I am telling you this particular thing here, children from poor household, they are the one who need education at the most. उनको सबसे ज़्यादा एजुकेशन की ज़रूरत होती है, and they will be moved out of the schools. This is the problem here, and this is the challenge here. Okay, this is the problem here, and this is the challenge here. The section of student जिनकी लाइफ बदल जाएगी अगर उनको जो है एजुकेशन मिल जाएगी. Another important challenge. Now schools are closed. Okay, distance learning is going on, you are teaching them through internet. But you need to understand there is a digital divide in India. There is urban rural divide. There is urban rural divide, there is digital divide in India. How are you going to address it? How are you going to address it? Here I would like to give the example of Haryana government. Okay, Haryana government is presently distributing the tabs. Haryana government is distributing tablets. Okay, so near about 8 lakh tabs will be distributed. Now you tell me one important part here. If you don't have the internet connectivity, okay, will that tab of any use? Who is going to use that tab if internet connectivity is not there? You need to understand this particular point. So definitely if you are writing this particular answer in your question, you can give example of Haryana government that yes, at the state level some states have taken some initiative. They are distributing the tablets free of cost to children who are going to school. But the point is this, okay, if there is no internet connectivity in rural area, how are you going to address this issue? What's the point of distributing the tabs? Will they be able to attend their sessions? Okay. Now, this you need to understand, and at last, they gave this solution that government, employers, union, civil society, every individual have to come together. Okay. And they have to pledge that they have to stop child labor. So this year United Nations has declared 2021 as International Year for the Elimination of Child Labor. Okay. This year has been declared as International Year for the Elimination of Child Labor. So that's why they are saying that all should come together. There should be proper strategic partnership with all the players. Okay, all the players, government, employer, trade union, all should be on board. This is what they are saying. So it depends upon our society how we are going to behave. Okay, how we are going to cooperate. So this is what they are saying. So next we move to what explains the surge in FDI inflow. So it's a highly technical editorial which appeared today. Okay. So they have explained what's the reason. See, you need to understand Indian economy is down. Indian economy is not picking up. There were lockdowns. Okay. We had lockdowns. And still if you see the stock market, India's stock market, they are going up. And how it is happening? Even the economists and the experts, they are not going, they don't have the answer for this particular thing. Why FDI, foreign direct investment, is still going up in your country? What's the reason? What is going on? Okay, your GDP is contracting by 7.3% in the present time. Okay, with the present lockdowns, still your stock market was going up. Why FDI is still coming to your country? What's the reason? Why FDI is still coming to your country? You need to understand this point. This is what they have explained. Okay, this is what they have explained. Now you need to understand. Okay, so when you talk about FDI, okay, there are different means by which FDI comes to your country, and one is the direct investment. Okay, one is the direct investment to India, that one firm wants to invest in India, they want to open up their franchisee or a company or other thing. Okay. Another is repatriation or disinvestment. Now what is this repatriation? Suppose it is a wider term. It means that you have invested in Chinese economy is going down, so you are shifting your money to India. Okay, this is the repatriation. Now today if Indian economy is not giving you the promising result, you will shift to some other country, say Bangladesh. Okay, if Indian economy is not giving you the promised result, you will shift it to Bangladesh. So this is the repatriation or disinvestment thing. Another point is that suppose Reliance, Indian firm, okay, Indian firm, they have invested in Europe, and now they want money to be shifted back to India. This is also repatriation. Okay, now suppose Tata is winding up, okay, Tata is winding up its project in UK. Suppose Tata is winding up its project in UK and it is going to bring back the money back to India. Whatever money it is going to get by winding up the project, that money will come back to India. This is the angle of repatriation and disinvestment. Now what's the problem here? If the money which is coming to your country, if the FDI which is coming to your country is because of this repatriation, okay, is because of this repatriation, then you need to understand, then it is basically a temporary makeshift. Okay, temporary makeshift. Maybe after 2 to 3 years that money can be shifted to some other economy. That money can be shifted to somewhere else. This is the point of FDI. And this is the reason. Okay, this is the reason. So the share of repatriation or disinvestment in the present FDI flow has increased by 47%. This is what this editorial is mentioning about. Okay. So FDI inflow, in theory, if you see, is supposed to bring additional capital to your country. Okay. And in contrast, foreign portfolio investment, as the name suggests, is a short-term investment in domestic capital, that is equity and debt. Okay. Equity and debt market means shares and other bonds. If that's the area of investment, then you need to understand the timing for that investment will be very less. As the name suggests, short term investment. It will be there in your country for either 2 years or 3 years. Okay. So presently what has happened is that the conceptual distinction have blurred. Means there is some issue in your official reporting. Because the lines have been blurred, your foreign portfolio investment is being reported as FDI. Your foreign portfolio investment is being reported as FDI. Now this is the new thing which is happening. This is the new thing which is happening. Okay. Now reporting is one angle. Another angle, as I told you this particular thing, that there are two ways. One is the direct investment, other is the repatriation or disinvestment. That your money invested somewhere else and you are shifting it back to India. You are bringing it back to India. This is one way. Okay. Another is disinvestment. Suppose you are winding up your project in some other country. What are you going to do with that? You will bring back that money to India only. Okay. So if this money is coming and the share is 49%, what does it mean? It means that the surge in total FDI flow, okay, so it is showing that it is booming right now with FII, with short-term investment, is not going to add fixed investment and employment to your country. You will not be able to generate fixed assets. Pakke assets, long-term employment thing, employment creation will not be there. Okay. Only shares buying and selling will take place. Existing company will have the same set. No technology will come. Okay. No new investment will come. New avenues will come. This is the impact. This is the impact that we have right now. And they have explained this particular thing. What explains the surge in FDI inflow? So in a fatal war on transparency, now this is what is going on. Okay. So you need to understand in a country, see presently, as you know, okay, information, this is the information age. Okay. Presently 21st century is the information age. Am I right or not? It means that information is somehow power. If you have the information, you have some advantage. If you have the information, you will definitely have some advantage. Okay. So this is what this is explaining. If you have the information, you will have some advantage. Now this is the 21st century, and how the information will be facilitated? With the help of transparency. With the help of transparency. Okay. Now when we say transparency is required and information should be provided, and information is the power, so whatever tools that we have for information, for transparency, like RTI is a tool for transparency, for citizen empowerment, okay, because when your citizen will have access to information, he will get power. So when tools like RTI, which are available for the information, for the empowerment of citizen, when they are not allowed to be used, for in letter and spirit, okay, when they are not allowed to be used in letter and spirit, definitely your whole idea of citizen empowerment is impacted. Your whole idea of citizen empowerment is impacted. So how does RTI is being, the efficacy of the RTI is reduced? Okay, how does, okay, the efficacy of RTI is reduced? कैसे किया जाता है? So this is one way. There is a system and there is a law which is available, that is Official Secret Act. Okay, Official Secret Act, that to protect the national security, okay, that you protect the national security in national interest, okay, you are not sharing the information, you are not providing the information in public domain, you are not providing the, okay, information in the public domain. This is the arrangement that they have. Now you need to understand, it's definitely detrimental for the transparency. Okay, citizen empowerment will be impacted. So that's why presently a new national expert group was formed to deal with, to manage the vaccine in this country. So government formed a national expert group. Okay, they are handling this vaccine thing in India, how vaccine is to be produced, how, transportation and other things will be managed. Okay, now they carried out their meeting iski hui, and one activist, someone asked for the RTI. Okay, someone filed an RTI and said, let's the public know what exactly they said in the meeting, what did they discuss, what was the outcome of that meeting. Okay, but the government have refused, government have said, we are not going to share that with you, we are not going to share that with you. That's the problem here, now you tell me one thing, it may lead to information black hole. Okay, it means information is not coming out, there are experts, okay, who are outside the establishment, there are scientists, there are doctors in this country. If they are being provided the information, they can frame policy for our government. There are civil society organizations, there are NGOs who help in policy formation. Now, if you are hiding the information, if you are not providing the information, then their role in your policy making will be impacted. So that's why it is important that tools like RTI and other things should be implemented in letter and spirit. Okay, in letter and spirit. But definitely our bureaucracy, our administration, they love this secrecy. Why they love this secrecy? Why bureaucracy loves secrecy? What's the reason? Why our bureaucrats love the secrecy? Okay, why they love secrecy? So you need to understand, if things are made transparent, then public will know, okay, public will know about the shortfall of our bureaucracy, about the inadequacy of our bureaucracy, about the incapability of our bureaucracy. Okay, so bureaucracy wants to hide those incapabilities, those shortfalls, those inadequacies from the public. So if there is no public debate, okay, then there is no improvement, and your bureaucracy doesn't want to improve. They enjoy their comfort zone. So this is the reason, this is the major reason. Okay, so this was the reason why they don't want to share the information. Now COVID toolkit revealed. Okay, so presently RBI is working that monetary policy is definitely, they are doing their effort to help the economy to revive. It's also about providing safety nets. Okay, it's about providing credit. So presently all these things, all these arrangements have been made at the policy level. आपने आत्मनिर्भर भारत के अंदर क्रेडिट भी अवेलेबल करवाया है, ठीक है ना, सस्ता क्रेडिट. सो विल मूव अहेड. नाउ ब्रिक्स विल हेल्प इंडिया इन फाइटिंग द कोविड-19 says Chinese minister. So it's a good thing. Okay, see, you need to understand there is nothing like personal ego in your international relations. Okay, so just because we will not take help from China, no, it should not be like that. So you have to take help from all the players who are there, and definitely these BRICS nations, they can help each other. And how they can help each other? Because they understand each other. Okay, they understand each other. They were developing nations. Okay, China has developed, but more or less they come in the category of developing nations. Okay, so that's why they can cooperate with each other. It's a good thing if some effort is made at the level of BRICS. Okay, सो डेफिनेटली हमें उसके लिए काम करना चाहिए. ओके, सो ये सारी डिबेट चल रही है. अदर देन दैट देर इज नथिंग मच, कुछ खास नहीं है ये. ओके, सो चाइनाज पॉपुलेशन नॉर्म्स सर्व एज वार्निंग फॉर इंडिया. ओके, सो यू नीड टू अंडरस्टैंड इट्स अबाउट वन चाइना पॉलिसी, वन चाइल्ड पॉलिसी. ओके, one child policy that China had, and now there is shortage of labor there. Labor is not available. Okay, shortage of labor is there. So that's why they are saying that we should not move towards this policy decision. Okay, ऐसा कुछ हमें नहीं करना चाहिए, ठीक है ना. तो ये चीज इन्होंने पॉइंट आउट की है, ठीक है ना, ये चीज इन्होंने पॉइंट आउट की है. Why it is so? So you need to understand the population growth has its organic way. अपने आप होता है ये. Okay, you cannot try to manipulate it. And China did that, and now they are facing the problem. वो आज की डेट में प्रॉब्लम फेस कर रहे हैं. ओके, सो दे हैड वन चाइल्ड पॉलिसी, दूसरा बच्चा भी अलाउ नहीं करते थे. नाउ दे आर पेइंग द प्राइस. Now Supreme Court stays order on oxygen concentrators. Okay, Delhi High Court had criticized the levy of IGST in case of import for personal use. So again the debate is on whether should we continue to, okay, whether should we continue or should we remove the GST from this particular thing. Okay, so ये debate है, ये चल रही है अभी. So देखना होगा क्या इस पे आगे बढ़ती है बात, ठीक है ना. So this is what is happening. This is what is happening. Okay, so we'll move ahead. Now panel had warned MHA on Lakshadweep. Now this is the major crisis which is developing. Okay, you need to understand. You need to understand this thing. See, Lakshadweep, okay, is Muslim majority. You need to understand this thing. It is Muslim majority. Okay, so basically minority is there, minority of your country is there. So you have to be careful in handling this. You have to be careful in handling this particular area. It should not appear, okay, it should not appear that you are imposing your majoritarian thoughts. It should not appear that you are imposing your majoritarian thoughts. Okay, so that's why it is very critical. आप मेजोरिटी की थॉट्स, ऐसा लगना भी नहीं चाहिए कि कहीं से मेजोरिटेरियन थॉट्स आप इंपोज कर रहे हो. सो वेयर एवर you want to carry out the development project. So idea is that the administrator there, he made some changes and he is saying that he wanted development of the region. Okay, the idea is that he wanted the development of the region. ये चीज वो चाहते हैं. अब you need to understand this particular point. Okay, if you want development of the region, then you have to take people along with you. Take people along with you. Okay, लोगों को आपको साथ रखना पड़ेगा. If you seriously want development, you cannot bring development without people, without their interest, without listening to them. So this is how the administrator there, he has undermined the local bodies. Okay, he has undermined the local participation. वो सब इन्होंने undermine कर दिया. Now you tell me one thing, if this is the case, it can develop into another important thing and it can lead to radicalization. ये radicalization की situation बन सकती है. The population can get alienated. Okay, they will think that India is not taking care of them. They can get alienated and they will think that India is not taking care of them. This is the problem here. This is the problem here, and that's why panel had warned the Ministry of Home Affairs that if you are not handling this situation on time, then it can become a security crisis for us. It can become a major security crisis for us. You need to understand this particular point here, and that's why it is important to handle this sensitive area in a more sensible way. Okay, and why this area is sensitive? Because it is important for your national security, your maritime security. आपके नेवल बेसिस हैं वहां पे. सपोज इफ पॉपुलेशन इज अपोजिंग और आपकी नेवी के बेसिस को अपोज करना स्टार्ट कर दिया, इन दैट सिचुएशन व्हाट आर यू गोइंग टू डू? क्या करेंगे आप? ये चीज यहां पे इन्होंने बताया है. ओके, ये चीज इन्होंने यहां पे बताया है. ठीक है ना? सो दिस इज व्हाट हैज हैपेंड. सो विल मूव अहेड नाउ. आगे देखते हैं. सो एनसीपीसीआर ट्रैक्स द डेटा ऑन ऑर्फन्स. ओके, एज आई टोल्ड यू 9346 children, they have either lost a parent or has been abandoned during the pandemic. This is the number which is available, means near about 10,000 children are there. Okay, 10,000 children are there, and National Commission for Protection of Child Rights. So you have this body, National Commission for Protection of Child Rights. Okay, NCPCR. Now they are tracking this number, but my question is that, is this body empowered? Is this body empowered to take any action, to take any effort, to make any effort? So that's the problem here. Now NCPCR think these bodies, they are recommendatory in nature. They can just give recommendation to government. They cannot act on their own. They don't have the administrative mechanism to act on their own. अपने लेवल पे कुछ नहीं कर सकते हैं. Again, they will be dependent on the government. They will give recommendation. And what if government doesn't listen to their recommendation? Government doesn't, apply their recommendation. That's the problem, and that's the criticism of the bodies like NCPCR. Okay, might not be having the resources. What are you going to do? What your government is going to do in that scenario? Okay, that's the major challenge here. That's the major challenge here. So still we have to explore how things move ahead. NCPCR is taking some interest in it. It's a welcome step. Okay, but the organization itself is not that empowered. Now government not to resume supply of oxygen for the industrial use. Okay, now government presently, how we did, we passed an order that was again an ad hoc arrangement. Okay, jugaad, that industrial oxygen, okay, is to be supplied for medical needs. This was the arrangement that we made. Okay, now industries are saying, see, we want to start our production back, so do we have any policy? Do you have any policy? Industries are demanding back. They are saying that at least some policy should be there. Okay, some policy should be there. Now is the time. Now is the time. So government is not clear on it, and they will announce it when they want the industrial oxygen to be produced again. Right now पूरे देश की इंडस्ट्री आपकी मेडिकल ऑक्सीजन बना रही है. Okay, this is what is happening right now. So we'll move ahead. Okay, we'll move ahead and see what exactly is there for us. Now vaccination rate is key to lifting lockdowns, says NCMR, and it's a real thing. You have to vaccinate all people. Okay, and government has set the target that by December 2021 everyone will be vaccinated. This is the target that government has. This is the target that government has. Okay, कि आप जो है 2021 तक सबको वैक्सीनेट करोगे, and it's a good thing. So there were announcements that in July our production unit, our production capacity will reach 1 crore dose per day, that we will be able to produce 1 crore dose per day. Okay, if that happens, then it will be a remarkable achievement, and I am telling you, we will be able to get our glory back. Okay, it will help us a lot in maintaining, in strengthening our image as responsible country, capable country, which is able to help address the domestic demands as well as able to address the international commitments. Okay, that's why it is important. That's why it is important, and in future definitely we will have that arrangement in your country. Okay, so China jails blogger for Galwan comment. Now some of the blogger, okay, he has raised some questions on the behavior of Chinese army or people Republic of China, okay, the government there, Communist Party there, and he has been put behind the bars for the comments. Okay, so this is what is happening now. ये होता है वहां पे. दिस इज द डिफरेंस बिटवीन अथॉरिटेरियन रूल. ओके, दिस इज द डिफरेंस बिटवीन अथॉरिटेरियन सिंगल पार्टी रूल एंड डेमोक्रेसी. सी वी हैव आवर ओन मीन्स. इंडिया के अंदर और हथियार यूज करते हैं जैसे सेडिशन, ओके, एंड अदर थिंग्स. ओके, आवर पॉलिटिशियन दे ऑल्सो यूज सच मीन्स. ठीक है ना, जहां पे क्रिटिसिज्म को रोकना हो ये सब करते हैं वो. बट स्टिल हमारे यहाँ पे डेमोक्रेटिक प्रिंसिपल्स की रिस्पेक्ट की जाती है. स्टिल डेमोक्रेटिक प्रिंसिपल्स आर रिस्पेक्टेड. ओके, लेकिन चाइना में वहां पे इफ समवन इज कमेंटिंग समथिंग ही विल बी पुट बिहाइंड द बार्स. सो दिस इज द डिफरेंस दैट वी हैव. सो डेमोक्रेसी इज अ लिबर्टी. ओके, डेमोक्रेसी इज अ लिबर्टी, इज अ लग्जरी दैट वी शुड एंजॉय. तो डेमोक्रेसी एक लग्जरी है जो हमें एंजॉय करनी चाहिए. ओके, सो ये पॉइंट समझना है. सो वी शुड रिस्पेक्ट आवर डेमोक्रेसी. वी शुड रिस्पेक्ट आवर डेमोक्रेसी. सोचो अगर चाइना में होते तो, ठीक है ना. सो दिस पॉइंट शुड बी एक्सप्लेन्ड. दिस पॉइंट शुड बी अंडरस्टूड हियर. ओके, सो लेट्स सी. There is some lag, I know. There is some internet issue. So Europe demands explanation after the US Danish spying claim. Now the claim was that spying was done on German leader. Okay, so again this is back. German leader Angela Merkel. Okay, spying was done on her. इनके ऊपर स्पाइंग की गई थी. तो ये चीज जो है इन्होंने बोली है कि डेफिनेटली ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए था. इफ यू आर स्पाइंग ऑन अ लीडर ऑफ अ कंट्री, it will definitely increase the distrust between the country, and these countries are not even fighting with each other. They are not enemies, they are friends. So why are you spying on friends? एक दूसरे पे spying क्यों करते हो? What's the reason? So spying is basically done to know the secret. Okay, that what they are thinking, how they are going to manage their economy, अपनी economy कैसे manage करेंगे, how they are going to decide what they are thinking on the strategic lines. Okay, strategic lines पे क्या वो सोच रहे हैं. So this is what is covered in this particular thing. Okay, that's why spying is done. It should not happen, but definitely यहाँ पे किया जाता है. ठीक है ना, यहाँ पे किया जाता है. Okay, so we'll move ahead now. We'll move ahead. So okay, there is nothing much, कुछ खास नहीं है यहाँ पे. So Europe should speak together in one voice. Now how European voice is divided? Okay, so European voice is divided over issues like China. Some of the European countries, they are having trade relations with China. Okay, so that's why they are not openly criticizing China. They are not openly criticizing China. You need to understand this point. So their economy is somehow dependent on China. Okay, they are very much right to some extent. Their economy is dependent on China. So this is also the reason they cannot criticize the Chinese actions openly. Okay, सरेआम आप नहीं कभी कभी क्रिटिसाइज कर सकते. This is what they are saying. ये चीज वो बोल रहे हैं. ठीक है ना, not openly criticizing China. Okay, so that's why the Europe itself is divided, and when you have a divided house, कहीं पे भी कुछ divided होता है, so आप जो चाहते हो वो अचीव नहीं कर पाते. So with the divided house, they will not be able to achieve what they want. If they want China to reform, they will never be able to achieve that. अगर वो चाइना को भी रिफॉर्म करना चाहते हैं, सुधारना चाहते हैं, वो भी वो अचीव नहीं कर पाएंगे. ओके, they will not be able to achieve that. That's the major problem here. वो सबसे बड़ी प्रॉब्लम है यहाँ पे. Okay, so still that's why they are saying that there should be united effort. Now Moody's cut the GDP forecast. Okay, this is what they are saying. It was well expected that Indian economy will go down. Okay, so whatever expectation it was there, the figures will be revised. Okay, the figures will be revised, and this is what has happened. So figures has been revised now. Figures यहाँ पे रिवाइज कर लिए गए हैं. Okay, so ये चीज यहाँ पे इन्होंने बोली है. ठीक है ना. So other than that, there is nothing much. Auto sales decline from April level. Obviously, lockdown is there. No one is moving out. Then how will they buy the cars and other things? तो ये तो कम होना ही था. Okay, so it was well expected. So ये आपकी economy है. But the good thing is that silver lining is that it will bounce back. Okay, it will bounce back. ठीक है ना. Because people are waiting to bounce back. They are waiting to buy things. Okay. So they are waiting to buy things. Okay, so the economy will bounce back. So this is what we had for today's session. Okay, this is what we had for today's session. So now I am winding up the session, and as I have told you that I have to move somewhere, I have to travel. Okay, so whatever doubt you are having, I can address your doubt tomorrow. So you can bring in your doubt. Okay, you can bring in your doubt in tomorrow's session. Definitely I'll address your doubt. Okay, so unfortunately I have to wind up the session now. Okay, so I have no other choice. So guys, please do share about this initiative with your friends, and if this session is benefiting you, then you can definitely give me a like. Okay, because it helps a lot. Okay, so it helps on the part that there is a moral boosting. Okay, if you are giving us a like, तो हमारे लिए थोड़ी मोरल बूस्टिंग हो जाती है अगर आप हमें थोड़ा लाइक देते हो. ठीक है ना. सो आई एम एंडिंग द सेशन नाउ. आई होप आई हैव एड्रेस्ड योर डाउट्स. ओके, वट एवर डाउट्स यू हैव रिलेटेड टू टूडेज सेशन, आई विल एड्रेस दोज डाउट्स टुमारो. इट्स माई प्रॉमिस. ओके, सो थैंक यू वेरी मच.